Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Latin America show. My name is Enrique Gelista, and it's a pleasure for me to be tonight with all of you. And of course, while sharing this fantastic show with all of you. And also, well, I would like to ask you, first of all, if you can follow us in all our social networks, you can find us very easy as the Latin America show. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and here on Facebook. If you are watching us right now on Facebook, please put the button that is saying here, share or compartir. It depends if you have it in Spanish or in English, in order that more people, they know exactly what are we doing and they can know more about Latin America. Also, I would like to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where all the videos that we have, the previous videos, the previous live videos, you can watch them then. And also you can know more about different countries that we have talked about, like for example, Brazil, Honduras, Mexico, Colombia, Dominican Republic, etc. So, well, we have a lot of videos. Remember that this show is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. London time. So, well, please be connected, share with all the people that you know, your friends. Maybe there are a lot of friends that you know that maybe they would like to know more about Latin America or they are interested in our culture. Also, if you have some friends that maybe they are interested to participate and to come to the show because, well, maybe they are related or they have some business across Latin America, let us know. Send us your commentaries or send us a message here on Facebook in order that, well, we can bring them and also you can know more about these countries and also they can show us what are they doing. Today, we have prepared an amazing show. We're going to talk about Nicaragua. Nicaragua, well, it's a fantastic country. We have fantastic guests because, well, we're honored to have the ambassador, Giselle Morales Echeverry. She is with us, and also the deputy ambassador, Ricardo Carioni. And we're going to have also two experts if you want to know more about Nicaragua and how to go there and to travel and enjoy the life there, like Russell MADDICKS, that he has written many books, and also one of them is about Nicaragua. So, well, he's going to tell us about what is his experience, and also Karen Emmanuel, that, well, she has a fantastic lodge, Jicaro Lodge. So we're going to talk about them. But before we start the show, I would like to introduce mis amigos, Roger Alarcon.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you all over again here on this Tuesday in the Latin American show. Today, as you hear from Enrique, we've got an amazing program, so please stay tuned.
Thank you very much, my dear Roger. And on the other side, we have our fantastic Spanish teacher that she changed the look tonight. So, well, she is Whitney Nuchereno.
Yeah, wanted to change things up / be lazy and not do my hair. But anyways, hi everyone. How are you? Welcome to our program tonight. Nicaragua, like we said, we have some fantastic guests. I swear Enrique does this now so that I don't say who the guests are and spoil the show. But in my segment, we're going to do some new Spanish and it's going to be on surfing. So stay tuned.
That's fantastic. And also I would like just to remember if they're watching us, and well, I know that, well, all the providers, because the previous shows, we have this Mexican show, and also, well, the providers, they already sent all the prices. So, well, please let us know, and of course, well, give us your commentaries. And I would like to say, first of all, thank you very much to Abhijit, who's watching us, to Nahida, to Gary and Dancy. So please let us know who are watching us. Send us a commentary there. Just send at least hello and where are you from or where are you located, in order that we can talk with you and also maybe you can feel more engaged to this show. So today, as I said, we're going to talk about Nicaragua. So, well, Nicaragua is interesting because, well, it's a country that, well, the origin of the name, it could come from the Nahuatl, that it could be Nic Anahuac, that could refers more like the translation could be something like, till this place the Nahuatl survived. And as you know, the great Tenochtitlan and also the part of Teotihuacan, it was an empire that was extended through Mexico, well, from Mexico to Central America. So, well, that's the reason why they are saying that arrived till there. Also, in that region, they used to have a leader that the name was Nicarao. And the tribe, they used to be called the Nicarianos. Nicarianos. So that is maybe the origin of the name that is coming Nicaragua. That is very accurate to this information. And also you can see the flag. Well, the flag has two main colors. That is the blue one that represents the two oceans because, well, Nicaragua has borders with Honduras, Costa Rica, but also it has two oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. And the white color represents the purity of the country. In the middle, they have a triangle that means equality, and it has a rainbow to represent the peace. Also, the liberty that they are, promoting the liberty, and you can see 5 volcanoes in the coat of arms. These 5 volcanoes is the union of a fraternity with 5 countries in Central America. And they have a legend saying República de Nicaragua or Republic of Nicaragua and Central America. So that is the flag, that is, and the name. And well, as I said, where it's located, well, you can see that, well, it's in Central America, and it has borders with Honduras and Costa Rica. And also, well, you can see that, well, they have the magnificent 2 oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. And just talking a little bit about Nicaragua. So, well, the official name is Republic of Nicaragua. It has a population around 6.4 million people. And the official language is Spanish. But not only the Spanish, they have 6 regional languages also, like Miskito, Rama, Sumo, and many others. So, well, all of these regional languages, they are, and also the English language is recognized as an official language. And the capital is Managua. They have around 1 million people, and there are 3 main cities, Managua, León, and Masaya. They celebrated their independence from Spain also 2 weeks ago, the 15th of September, and the independence from Spain, it was the 15th of September of 1821. So they celebrate 199 years of independence. However, also they have another independence, that it was independence from Mexico, that it was the 1st of July of 1823. The currency that they use is the Cordoba, and the area that they are covering is around 130,000 square kilometers, that is something around 50,000 square miles. Just to have an idea, Nicaragua is a similar size as Greece in Europe, and it could be more or less half of the UK territory. So also, it's a good producer of clothing, electric machinery, gems, meat, coffee, tea, and spices. But well, also, in order that well, we can know more about Nicaragua and this fantastic place, as I said at the beginning, we have 2 fantastic guests because, well, we would like to know more about the insights and more about what could be interesting for you in order to know more about this amazing country that it could be a paradise. So we're very honored to have the ambassador, Giselle Morales Echeverry, here with us. Thank you very much, Giselle. Good evening.
Good evening to all of you. Good evening, Enrique, Roger, Whitney. I want to thank you for the invitation to this wonderful program, and allow me to congratulate you for this initiative that brings the best of the culture and values of our countries of Latin America to Great Britain, and particularly for giving me the opportunity this time to share with your audience, with your magnificent audience, just when my country, about Nicaragua, just when my country is commemorating our National Day that we share with other countries of Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Costa Rica. It's the 15th of September, the past 15th of September. I am not going again about the size of the country or anything, because you already did, but I really want to take advantage of this occasion to pay tribute to the Nicaraguan and Central American diaspora, and to that a great community-based initiative, the Amigo Malls, that celebrates the contribution, the heritage and achievement, the culture of all of 35 Spanish Portuguese-speaking countries, including Nicaragua, living in the United Kingdom. So initiative like that, and you bring us, make the United Kingdom and the people of United Kingdom and Europe aware of our beautiful countries, our beautiful people. Our thoughts, it's important to express my thoughts goes to the victim of the pandemic and to all the heroic people from our communities who has been working tireless in fighting it here and back in our countries. But in these difficult times, as we enter into the 200 anniversaries of independence, the people of Central America are more united. You mentioned the 5 volcanoes that is the symbol of the 5 countries that are linked by history and by geography and culture too, and are united by the spirit of fraternity that has characterized us throughout our history. We are looking at this bicentenary with optimism, with courage and hope. And in that note, to honor this important mark, the 200th anniversary, in due to the constraint of time, because I could keep talking and talking about Nicaragua, I will share with you 10 things of Nicaragua unique and original, única y original, that I am proud as a Nicaraguan, and I wish to share with you and with the world, 1 for every 20 years, no more. So allow me to share my screen so I will keep talking while you can see the images that what I am talking about, and entice you to come along and visit Nicaragua too. 1 second, please.
And I'm really sure that we will, because, well, after seeing, well, once I have seen some of the images, it's honestly, it's a paradise, and it would be fantastic to be there.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen now. This one, how do Ricardo you have?
No, yet.
Okay, ¿cómo hay presentación? Come on.
Slideshow. From start.
I think so. It's part of.
Can you see this my screen?
Yep.
No. No. Okay.
No, todavía no. En la parte de abajo donde dice Share Screen.
1 second.
En el Zoom, ahí Share Screen y seleccione la presentación.
Ay, no sé. No sé cómo hacer. Eso es lo que estoy tratando de hacer. Okay. And share. Okay. So now,
yes.
Okay. Now can you see it?
Yeah.
Play from start. Okay. Okay. So this is my 10 things that I am proud of. So the first one is the historical and cultural bonds between, okay, let me put the next one, and is the historical and cultural bonds between Nicaragua and Britain that goes back to 1630 and today are particularly expressed in the British heritage and language of the people of Afro-Caribbean Nicaragua that speaks Creole English, dance maypole, play balls, and drink ginger beer, among other beautiful customs they have retained and adapt and fostered by the partnership between cities such as Oxford, Leicester, Norwich, Reading, Nuneaton, Bristol, and Sheffield that are twinned with Nicaraguan towns. My second, I will say, is our people, our cultural diversity, a vivacious blend of Latin American, Spanish, African, Asian, and other European, all mixed together for centuries, all contributing to one of the most welcoming, colorful, and joyous cultural tapestry in Earth. One example is the Garifuna culture, which is a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage for its unique value to humanity of their language, their dance, the music, and spirituality of this proud and never conquered people. So. Then I will say, is the colonial cities, our colonial cities. The brave León, it's there. Our fierce and revolutionary capital with its historic León Cathedral, the largest in the Americas, the resting place of the national poet Rubén Darío, and home to artistic masterpiece. And the ruins of León, buried by an eruption of Momotombo volcano in 1610, preserved in time, a magical real-life relic, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and of course, Granada, that you cannot come to Nicaragua and not go to Granada, one of the oldest and best preserved colonial cities in Latin America that continues located in the same place. Number 4 will be the Huehuense, a UNESCO masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. It's an epic comic, musical, and dance play in exuberant costumes performed in Nicaragua, in Diriamba particularly, express our national idiosyncrasy as a Nicaraguan, and we are proud of it. Our Rubén Darío, our poet, but he's the Latin American poet also, a writer, a journalist, a diplomat, a patriot, the founder of the modernism cultural movement, popularly known as the Prince of the Castilian Letters, and the only poet in the world included in his country constitution. Then we are known as being the land of the lakes and volcanoes. We are the land of lakes and volcanoes. We are nestled between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, with more active volcanoes per square kilometers than any country except Iceland, as well as Lake Ocibolca or Nicaragua, the largest in Central America, that has Ometepe Island. This is Ometepe Island, on a freshwater lake, and hundreds of islets and more. You will hear later from Karen Emmanuel about Jicaro Island, a National Geographic unique lodge. This is the photo of someone in that island. And then you have here the volcano Masaya and East Lava Lake, very well known. The Rio COCO GeoPark is the only UNESCO's global geopark in Central America, which is home to the Somoto Canyon and one of the region's most stunning geological structure, like for example, the Humedal Lagoon that you can see to the right. Our nature, home of the 7% of the world biodiversity, including thousands of species of birds, fish, mammals, reptiles, flora and fauna, and the Bozawas Biosphere Reserve that borders with Honduras, which is the largest rainforest after the Amazon. And I will say our world-class products, including over 100% fine organic cacao, used to create international award chocolate, coffee, rum, very well known around the world. With their fresh, natural purity, they convey the flavors of Nicaragua's lush tropical lands. And our cigars that embodies the intricate craftsmanship passed down from generation to generation. We are the largest producers of cigars in the world. And some people say that what a Scotch whiskey is to Scotland, cigars are to Nicaragua. And since we are in the mood of World Tourism Day, my number 10 will be our tourism industry, built on environmental sustainability, on independent business and local community, and a full autonomy for indigenous people, on being the world's 5th most gender equal country, according to the World Economic Forum, on being the safest country in Central America, according to the UN, and have the best roads in Central America, and among the best in all Latin America, according to the Inter-American Development Bank, making us a safe and ethical destination. Well, those are my points, my 10 points. I will end the presentation now.
Well, actually, it sounds fantastic because I think so. One of the things that sometimes people, they do not realize is this kind of diversity that we have in Latin America. And I think so that, well, I think so it was a very good explanation, you know, that to say that, well, it's like all these kind of different cultures, they are merged there. And also it's not only, normally they are expecting just to see Latinos and how we are, but they are not expecting to see people that they are from different ethnicities or different countries that they have arrived, and look in this mixture that, well, you were saying, and all this diversity about people. So that is very interesting, you know, that, well, people, they can know and have more a broader idea about what is what they can find in Nicaragua, and it's not only Latinos there.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, indeed. And I just wanted to share, because these are my personal, very personal things that I think that picture Nicaragua, but there are many more. And I know other guests will go deeper into the focus of tourism. Our Deputy Ambassador, Ricardo Carioni, who will take over me, and wonderful Karen Emmanuel, a music and creative entrepreneur, an owner of Jicaro Lodge, you mentioned at the beginning in Granada, and Russell Maddick, a great journalist who knows Nicaragua probably better than any British, and even better than me, and an author of countless articles and even a guide about my country. I want to thank them both for being here and for their love to Nicaragua. And again, I really appreciate. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you, Roger. And to all the Latin American show team for helping to create a future of prosperity that Latin Americans deserve. With this, I will end my presentation and my interaction with you, and I will pass to Ricardo for further talk about Nicaragua and to answer all the questions that you may have, that I just entice you a little bit. I give you hints of all the things you can talk about Nicaragua. So Ricardo, please.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Roger, Enrique, Whitney, Karen, Russell. It is a great honor, a great pleasure, and a privilege to be here with you today.
I think
that's good. I think so.
One.
Okay.
Thank you, Ambassador. But yes, I mean, I'm very, very happy to be here. And I know time is running on us. And the Ambassador was able to share some of the most amazing wonders, not only of Nicaragua, but I think of Latin America and the world, things that make us incredibly proud. And if one thing I wanted to add to those, and then I would love to have an opportunity to engage with you, not make this any more of a second sort of a monologue, but actually hear any questions or thoughts that you may have that I will be delighted to build on and comment on. One thing that I've realized in the time that I've spent in the UK, probably 9 years overall, over the past 2 decades, there is a great appreciation of travelers that come to my country for something that makes us very unique, in addition to all these wonders. And I think that's the authenticity of the country, that unspoiled nature, which has been in many ways preserved because we've been a country with a very tumultuous history. We're very, very volcanic people that love to express our will and our desires. And in many ways, that has kept Nicaragua somewhat under the radar of other major mass tourism destinations in the region. So we're very fortunate that you can go to a beach, and Russell, I'm sure, can tell you more about that, and Karen, but you can go to a beach either on the Caribbean side or the Pacific side, and for a moment, it's only you, the whales in the background, the turtles coming in, your significant other, whoever might be with, and nobody else. So that sense of being in a place that's still very virginal, very pure, but at the same time being so easily accessible right in the middle of the continent, either from the south or from the north. So that authenticity and that unpolished, unbeaten track flavor is something that I, as a traveler of the world as well, I find difficulty finding in many places around the world with such easiness from where we are geographically. And one more thing I wanted to mention, which Ambassador, and I think you, Enrique, you also mentioned, and I think if we go back in time, something that marks our culture, which in many ways is what distinguishes us, because we We all have beautiful places. We all have beautiful landscapes around the world, but it's the inhabitants of those wonderful landscapes that really make us who we are and how we warmly welcome all visitors. And you have to think that Nicaragua, being right in the heart between the largest empires before the Spaniards came in, our people were actually non-empire builders. Our people escaped the empires. Our people were running away from the Aztecs and running away from the Incas. And what we had in our part of the world, from southern Honduras all the way down to around Panama, are the people, sort of a proto-democratic system where you had chieftains and people that found a paradise where they could give freedom to their artistry, to their poetry, to their vision, and to their love for the land, which today you can find in having the man who liberated the Spanish language, as Jorge Luis Borges, the Argentinian writer, would say, the country that produces these wonderful products because of the hands of the people. Because products are great, but if you don't have great artisan hands to produce and work the land and bring it to everybody else, there's nothing we can do. So I think those are historic moments in our lifetime and in our historic before lifetimes that has really marked our current life and our current times and the way Nicaragua is moving forward.
Thank you so much for that description and getting a little into like your personal favorites and whatnot. I kind of want to ask a question that was mentioned a little earlier with the Garifuna. That's something that I know because I teach it to my students, but can you get into a little bit about who they are and some of the impacts that they've had on the Nicaraguan culture? I know they're not just in Nicaragua, but in this case, if you could just elaborate a little more so more of us understand who they are and their impact.
Thank you very much, Whitney. And indeed, that's one of the cultural groups that comes all the way from Belize, all the way down to Costa Rica on the Caribbean coast. And these were people that were brought by the British, initially enslaved, but eventually found again this area of the world where they could be free and not be part of the empire and slave trade system. And little by little started forging their own identity, their own language, their own customs, creating a symbiosis of the religious and the cultural elements that they brought from Mother Africa, were able to nurture and grow in the fertile lands of Latin America and give him that unique language that stays still today. And you go to places in the Caribbean and you would find that our cities over there are not Granada or Spain or Leon names. They're actually Bluefields and the Corn Islands. So these are the names that were inherited by that British, initially, obviously, in many ways, sad story on slavery and colonialism, but that we look back and we are what we are thanks to that moment in history. So indeed, the Garifuna have this flavor, their color, the food, the way they mix the seafood with some of the turbers they brought from Africa and some of the local ingredients. It's one of the most colorful and enjoyable things. If you hear the Garifunas playing the drums, it's just impossible. They go around that time of the year. There is a version of the maypole that is down around that area. But for those of you who know the maypole as a British tradition, that's rather tame in the way it is expressed. If you see the Garifunas expressing themselves through the maypole, that's what I think you can capture and understand and feel the energy and the electricity of the Garifuna.
And is that part of the punta baile that they do that has impacted the culture, or is that entirely different? Because I know there's
I think punta has influences. I wouldn't think it's purely Garifuna, but it does have an influence of those rhythms that are more African, that are very distinctive. If you go to the Pacific coast and you hear more of the rhythms of the guitars and some of the violins and the marimba that comes from the Mexican influence on that side, that punta, that flavor that comes in from very famous musicians from Honduras and Nicaragua and Costa Rica, has that element that's very unique and musical in many ways.
Thank you.
In that way, Ricardo and Ambassador Giselle, I would like to ask you, okay, well, if you have to choose one food that maybe people, they should try, one dish, one particular dish, which one should be that, well, maybe if we are traveling to Honduras, we cannot miss it?
I think, well, that's a great question. And it's a tricky one.
I said Honduras, Nicaragua. Sorry, I don't know why I say Honduras.
Well, there are brothers and sisters, so no problem at all. We're very proud of that affiliation. But I think what's tricky about Nicaragua, right, is a country of two faces. So if you go to the Caribbean, it's almost the other side of the coin. So it'd be really hard not to choose a dish that comes from the African Caribbean side. However, I come from the Pacific coast. And so have to, if you ask me what when I'm home, I miss, I'm from Nicaragua, I miss many things, but number one, the food and the beach, those two things. There's something called, that you might be familiar from, called nacatamal. So the nacatamal, think of the tamal, the Mexican tamale, to conceive the idea, or the tamale from Cuba, or the tamale from Colombia, which is a dough made out of corn. And then inside that corn-based dough, you put in pretty much what you find around you. And Nicaragua, we're very fortunate. We eat 90% of what we produce, we eat. So you can get some of the rice, you can get some of the potatoes from the south, the tomatoes, the corn dough that came from the north. You put pork, that, you put some chicken. Now, the beauty of this is, if you think of a tamale, maybe the size, I don't know if you can see my hand, maybe something like that. A nacatamal is sort of in very brute terms, it's sort of a tamal on steroids. So this is the largest tamale by far. There is nothing close to a nacatamal. So it's a meal that keeps on giving. You have one of those in the mornings, as we usually do, either with a tortilla, nicely, freshly made, or with some bread, depends where you come from or what your flavors are and your taste. But it's one of those that wrapped in a leaf of plantain, boiled for hours and done with a whole family of people, conceives, and it's sort of an expression of that family affair, what it is, the cooking, the eating, the growing the land, and then enjoying it. And you eat one of those and it should last you for the rest of the day, just to top it up perhaps with a little bit of Nicaraguan rum and a wonderful Nicaraguan cigar to go along with it.
And that's interesting because you know what, Ricardo, one of the things that you're saying is that, well, you can put it in a tortilla, or you can put it like with bread, you can eat it. And it's something that in Mexico, in particular, people from Mexico City, they criticize a lot, people outside from the countryside or the rest of Mexico, that in Mexico City, we put the tamal within bread. So we eat like a torta, as we call it. But yes, well, we put it like a sandwich of tamal, and they criticize a lot. How can you do that? There's a lot of things there. So well, it's very heavy. But yeah, I think so. In that way, that's the magic of Latin America. That well, we are sharing things, even they are like similar, or the origin it could be. But well, of course, I think so. The richness of Nicaragua in particular is like this kind of mixture that you have, the diversity, as you were saying, with the music, with the flavors, coming from the Caribbean, but coming from Africa, coming from different parts of America. It could be for South America or from North America, but well, everything just go to the main, to the center, we can say, to the center, and they mix together there. And for you, Ambassador, which one it could be like your favorite dish that, well, we shouldn't miss if we are traveling?
I was gonna say, there is another dish that is very popular. It actually is very popular in Granada. You eat it in the park. There are the stalls that are in the main park of Granada. It's called vigorón, and every Central America who has been in Nicaragua knows what a vigorón is, which is the cassava cooked for very long time until it's soft enough, and then you add cracklings, very pork cracklings, and very crispy, and then it has a salad, top it with a salad of cabbage, very thinly, very like juliana, but very thin, and very and they put some acidic to complement and to get a deep flavor of everything. So to enhance the flavor of the cassave, but at the same time to make the salt of the crackling balance and singing all together. So that would be, I would say, my favorite dish. And of course, it has to have chili. you know, we call it chile Congo, which is very, very small chili that you eat it with the salad.
Yeah, you know what? It's very interesting because well, it's interesting how Latinos were describing the food because it's like we are drooling when we are saying it.
You know what I'm saying, Enrique?
Like,
I mean, I want to go there. A question for Ricardo, because I love the passion you talk about Nicaragua. That's why Nicaragua, the countries need a passionate like you. Where we can try this Nicaraguan food here in London?
So one place is my house, but it's a very small kitchen, and I cannot.
Okay, let's go.
You can try it on one on each basis. At the moment, there are a couple of Nicaraguan community members who actually cook and do catering. So if you happen to be to one of our events organized at the embassy, very likely that you will taste some of that figueron or some of the tamales, nacatamal, done by our community. Not yet restaurants. So I think for any entrepreneurs and people with initiative and spirit, I think it's the kind of cuisine that would appeal to many kinds of tastes. So those who look for that South America, for those who look for the Mesoamerican. So I think it's a pending to do, Roger. Maybe we can find, but we do have a couple of great chefs here cooking in other Latin American restaurants. When at home they come in, they do that. And one dish we do that I have to say very briefly, because otherwise Russell will get me in trouble when he speaks. What I cook at home every Sunday, and I love making my tortillas. I used to buy them at Elephant and Castle, the flour, the maicena, and I make them at home. But it's something called, I'll say it in English first and see what you think. You try to envision what it is. It's a spotted rooster. So imagine every Sunday in my house, small, tiny flat, I cook spotted rooster, which in Spanish is el gallo pinto. So the spotted rooster. And then you try to visualize what kind of cooking this Ricardo does in his house. But actually, it's a staple food that goes with every single meal of your day. That is the most typical day-to-day meal that I grew up with eating since I left the bottle and milk bottle and I started eating. And that is the gallo pinto, which is in Cuba, they call it the Moors and Christians, Moros y Cristianos. In other countries, they have another name, and it's the rice and the beans. But again, it has a very Nicaraguan flavor, the way we cook it. And many people say it's the best version of the spotted rooster in the world.
So don't worry, Ricardo. One of the things that we're going to do is we are going to put your address here in the commentary so everybody knows that on Sundays they can go directly to your place as well. Of course, they can enjoy this fantastic. As we don't have any restaurant here, well, we can go to Ricardo's house and well, we can try and experiment these kind of flavors from Nicaragua.
You're gonna get me trouble with my wife.
Just one thing, maybe I could say that from this talk, maybe some of the community, of the Nicaraguan community just get inspired and said, I'm gonna go and open something, you know, like so they can share with us the beautiful food we have.
Well, actually, so. Well, it's like sorry, yeah. So Giselle, Ambassador Giselle, thank you very much. Ricardo, thank you very much for being here. Hopefully, it's not the only time. We would like to talk more about food, about rum, about cigars, about a lot of coffee, about a lot of things that Nicaragua has to offer. And of course, well, this diversity that we were talking, maybe we can make a deep dive and well, we can start discussing, having more information about the country that I think is fantastic. I would like to say thank you very much. We're very honored to have you here. And well, it's like, hopefully it's not going to be the only time that you will be here with us.
On the contrary, thank you so much. And just for the record, whilst not yet the restaurant food is available, you can get the best cigars in the world, the best rum in the world, the best coffee, and the chocolate from Nicaragua available in all the best stores in the UK. So you can start getting your palate tasted and your taste buds with some of those great products, but happy to come back at any time so we can keep on enjoying this beautiful conversation in your wonderful company with your wonderful audience in this very exciting and sensational show. It's been an honor and a pleasure, Whitney, Roger, Enrique, and obviously, well, Ambassador.
Thank you very much.
And Ambassador, thank you very much. And also, well, Brian Mack, he's sending greetings to the Ambassador. He's saying, well, And well, thank you very much so for being here. And well, it's like let's hope that well to have you here again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So well, it's like now it's like we are going to pass it. I know that well, it was like a fantastic conversation.
I
And
know.
well, it's like we are passing very quick. But well, Roger, I think so. You have a video now for us.
Yeah, let's see. 50 seconds of Nicaragua.
Well, definitely it's a fantastic place as well. We have to visit. And well, I would like to say thank you very much to all the people that they are putting their commentaries. I would like to say thank you to Julio Cesar, that he's in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. Liliana Beck, that she's saying that, well, good night from Isle of Dogs. Monique Lawrence, that she's saying also hello. Annalise, that she's saying buenas noches, Enrique and team. Thank you very much. Lily Martinez. Brian Mack, Nancy Castillo, that she is in USA. Garen Dancy, that well, she's in Look Stunning. Yvonne Velasquez, Elena Larkin, that she is in Twickenham here in the UK. Yvonne, thanks, Ambassador, for showing your beautiful country. Adriana Velasquez, greetings from Orlando, Florida. Karen Emmanuel, that say, well, she's saying Hannah. Karen is going to be, well, is here with us, so well, yes. And she's saying, and well, later on, they are responding to Karen that, well, that they are in Nicaragua, I think so, yes. And well, thank you everyone for your commentaries. Thank you to Pamela Rollins, that she's in good evening, Enrique, Whitney, and Roger. Keep up the good work from your team, Latin America show. Thank you very much. Liliana Beck, the tamales honestos, she liked the idea of that one. And of course, Hannah also is asking, did someone say rum? Yes, I know. They said rum. Hopefully, well, for next time, they can send us some samples in order that we can taste and we can try as well. This
You're hungry. You're hungry.
So well, it's like now over you, Roger. I think so. You are going to introduce our two fantastic guests that we have. Don't worry. I know that we are like, don't feel in rush. I know that we have time, so don't worry. Yeah. So
yeah, because I see Whitney. I say Whitney. But Whitney, no worries. We're gonna be there. Well, now it's time to present two guests tonight. I'm very proud to introduce Russell Maddicks. First, Russell Maddicks and then Karen Emmanuel, two amazing people where they go to Central America, and then now this time we're going to talk about Nicaragua. Please welcome Russell Maddicks, an expert, a guy who's got some amazing stories and he's going to say to you tonight.
An expert and a good friend, actually. Russell.
Yes, a good friend as well. A good friend of us. Hello, Russell. How are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you.
So
Russell.
Very glad to be on the show. Enrique has said pretty much what I want to say about Nicaragua. It's quite incredible that he's already said pretty much what I want to say, which is my experience in Nicaragua is of a country which surprised me so much when I felt like I could not be surprised. So when
before that, Russell, before that, you tell us those things. Tell us a little bit quickly how you start these travels. How you been inspired as a British going to Latin America?
Well, I've been inspired by Latin America for 30 years. So I've always wanted to know more about Latin America. But for Nicaragua, it was a very particular case because I was living in Reading after living many years in Latin America. And I saw a street called San Francisco Libre. And I had a son that I'd just called Francisco. And I thought, wow, that's an incredible coincidence. I've got a son called Francisco, and there's a street called San Francisco Libre. And so I wanted to explore a bit more and found out that Reading, where I was living in the UK, was twinned with a town in Nicaragua called San Francisco Libre, which was such a coincidence that I thought, wow, I have to go. I have to find out. I have to go to this place called San Francisco Libre and find out where it is, who the people are, what's going on there, what's happening in Nicaragua. And that's what I did. And honestly, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Wow, that's amazing to hear from a British. Right? Tell us a little bit more how you develop all these trips, and then you start to think, oh, I need to show this to the British people or to the European people. How you start doing this? These travels.
Yeah. First of all, it was that initial response to a street called San Francisco Libre in Reading, and then when I decided that I had to go to Reading and find out what was going on, when I got there, it was just amazing that it was such an incredible experience of going to a place that I had no idea about, and yet the people were so fantastic, and I thought that I really needed to sort it out. So, Dad's falling over. All right, okay. So I really needed to find out what was going on. So that's what I did.
Well, I'm gonna show a little video, and then you tell us a little bit more about when we see it, about your experience in Nicaragua.
Listen, I'm on noise.
Well, definitely, it's a fantastic place that, well, all our friends, they shouldn't miss it because, well, it's like as we were talking, there are all these colonial places, we have all these fantastic places that, well, Russell, it's like, I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about what are we watching now.
Yeah, this is Granada, and so you can see the Mombacho volcano from the colonial city of Granada. And what's so amazing about Nicaragua, and that's volcano boarding in Leon, and that's again Mombacho from Nicaragua. From
that, well,
Granada.
also as the ambassador said, that, well, Granada is one of the places that, well, you must visit if you are if you are visiting Nicaragua, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first. I mean, it's just amazing. If you can think about a Vogue shoot. Nicaragua just delivers in terms of colonial places where you might go. Nicaragua delivers this kind of, you constantly feel like you're in a place. I think Ricardo said it best when he said it's authentic, different, and unique, in that you go to so many places which are touristic places, and you feel that you're experiencing something new. And in Nicaragua, it's almost a different level of authentic. It's so unique. And the people are so fantastic that you meet when you're there, that honestly, of all the places that I've traveled in the world, I would definitely say that Nicaragua delivers that experience of somewhere where, in a way, because your expectations are so low, we spend our time thinking about places in specific ways. So everywhere becomes a kind of stereotype of what we're going to expect. But Nicaragua has always kind of avoided those stereotypes. Nicaragua is a place which is outside of the stereotypes that we normally think about when we travel. And so when you get there, it's quite incredible that it's so different and the people are so incredible. I would say that my first experience of going to Nicaragua, for example, would be that I found out that there was San Francisco Libre, that there was a twin town situation between Reading, where I was living, and Nicaragua. I wanted to go there. I had been to Nicaragua in the 1990s to visit a friend who was a surfer, who was living on the coast of the Pacific coast of Nicaragua. And it was incredible in that sense, because it had just been after Nicaragua had gone through the Sandinista situation, through the war against Somoto. And it was like going back in time in a way. You know, we went to the beach on a cart pulled by oxen and everyone was fantastic. But I'd kind of forgotten about that. So when I went back again in around 2015, what I found was a country that was just so unique. I mean, I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to Guatemala, I've been to Honduras. But when I got to Nicaragua, in terms of Central America, it was completely its own thing. And that really is quite exceptional. The food was different. The people were different. The language was different. Everything was different. And also you've got, as the ambassador Enrique have said before, this division between the Pacific, very Spanish, the volcanoes and the lakes, and the Caribbean and the islands, and this Afro-Caribbean English Creole culture. So there's so much diversity in Nicaragua. It's one of the largest countries in Central America, but one of the smallest populations. It's very easy to get around. You can see so much in such a short time, and it has incredible products. So the best coffee, organic cacao for chocolate, you know, you see that all the time. The best cigars in the world. So all of those things are there, and incredible fruits. So there's so many things to see, and you constantly feel that you are finding something new for yourself every time you arrive in a new place, which is unusual when you're traveling. And especially for a traveler like myself who travels a lot, Nicaragua is always full of surprises. A wow around every corner.
And I think
you say it very well.
Russell, I think
you say it
that
very well.
Sorry. And in that things that that you are saying that is full of surprises. I think so that they are magnificent places that we shouldn't miss. And I think so. There is where I would like to talk about one particular lodge that is Jicaro. And I would like to say hello to Karen, that she has been waiting here for us. But it's like, Karen, we would like to know more first. How do you fall in love about Nicaragua? As it's going to be similar question to the one that Russell answered. And later on, if you can tell us about this amazing place that is Jicaro.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that kind introduction. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me. How did I fall in love? It's a very easy place to fall in love with. So I really like traveling. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing is going to places that are a little bit less traveled, and that normally have spectacular scenery and spectacular wildlife. And some friends of mine travel the same way, and we were swapping stories on where to go to. And they said to me, you've got to go to Nicaragua. And so I went, like Russell, fell in love. The people are just, sort of like you said, absolutely incredible, friendly, helpful, real, authentic. That's been used before. The scenery is spectacular. The beaches, you've never been to such beaches. That normally have spectacular scenery and spectacular. like Russell, fell in love. Sorry, someone needs to mute.
Yeah,
okay,
no.
are we good there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so beaches completely empty, the lakes, the volcanoes, the amount of things that you can do very little and switch off and be totally peaceful. You can go on adventurous holidays. You can, yeah, I sandboarded down the volcano as well. That was kind of crazy. I fell off a lot of times. Yeah, it is really the culture, the food. There's so much to love. And my story, as many people will know, is when I was there, I went into a restaurant in Granada, and there was an A board that said "Island for sale" on the A board, and I thought, hey, that's kind of really well priced. And I'd been to a beautiful hotel on the coast called Morgan's Rock. And it was sustainable. I really like sustainable travel. It's sort of part of what makes me. And I wondered why there wasn't anywhere else that I'd seen in Nicaragua. We're talking back in 2006, 2007. And I thought, why isn't there anywhere near Granada that has that same ethos? And I saw an island for sale, and I was thinking this, and I kind of put two and two together. It sounds crazy when you tell people about it. And I ended up basically buying the island and getting in contact with the architects that did Morgan's Rock and building a sustainable hotel on an island in the Isletas in Granada. So my love affair started there and continues to this day.
So it could be like a dream of a lot of people that we have, to have our own island, no, in a paradise, enjoying all the time nice weather, and having like and also, well, it's a fantastic place also that, well, visitors, they can enjoy there and they can go there. So at least also you are not alone in your own island.
Yeah, and not only that, Enrique, the most important now is, which Karen touched, is the sustainable environment and the sustainable tourism, which now these days everyone is trying to look about, is talking about sustainability. So Karen, congratulations, you find out, and then that was your, as you said before, your ethos. Tell us more about this project, the Jicaro Island.
Okay, so when I bought it, it was just a completely untouched island, just with the natural vegetation and all the rocks that you find on all the islands. They say all the isletas around Granada, they say there's 365, one for every day of the year. And there are two theories of they either came up from a volcanic eruption or they came down from the volcano erupting. So it was all very natural. When I wanted to build it, it's been built completely with local people have built it. All local materials have been used. There was the wood that has been used to build it actually came down in one of the hurricanes. And then it was all kind of built off site because we couldn't build it on site because there wasn't enough room. We tried not to cut down any trees. The only trees that might have been cut down were ones that were actually dangerous or diseased. We built everything kind of around the rocks. When you go there, you'll see there's kind of little paths that are all around the major rocks. The rocks that we did break down, we built back up into walls. So the ethos behind it has always been local. All the staff that work there are local staff that we have that we've trained up and we keep training. We have a management company that's actually based in Costa Rica that has a number of sustainable lodges, and they cross-train people across the different lodges. We have had people come in to train from outside the country, but they come in to train the locals so that they can then sort of grow up with what we're doing. We do a lot of work with the local community. So we work with the local schools, we work with all our neighbours. Our neighbours supply us goods, we help them. The local fishermen do our fishing trips with us. with the local schools and the community. We've provided, our guests have actually provided, but through donations, a clean water system for the school and the community. We've painted the classrooms. We've taught all the kids in the community about sustainability. I mean, there's a lot of work that even during these difficult times, my staff, who I love dearly, give their free time and still help the local community and help in the education, because we think it's very important, especially with sustainability, to educate the kids from sort of ground up, to tell them how to, you know, not litter and recycle, and so on and so forth. So it's been, you know, it's been the whole driving ethos behind. We use the water from the lake, goes through a state-of-the-art filtration system to become the drinking water. I hate plastic waste. I hate hotels that make you pay for water. You know, it's something that's the, you know, it's life itself. So we have that. We treat all the waste and by anaerobic bacteria, and then the water is then used to sort of re-water the land. So it's kind of an enclosed system. We make everything on site. We don't buy like bottled ketchups and things like that. We make everything on site using local ingredients and local marketplace. And we work a lot with the kind of the national food, but then maybe do a little twist with it. So we have our own take on, say, Vigoron, but we also do a caballo bayo, which wasn't mentioned before, which is an amazing kind of feast that is, it's kind of, I don't like to say buffet because that sounds not so good, but it's a feast of all different dishes that is used in celebrations in Nicaragua. So it's all very much about sort of education, educating also the people when they come to the island, you know, what the culture is like, making sure that the staff have really good relationships with all the guests and they can sort of talk to them about the culture. Oh, there you go. There's a caballo bayo. Perfect. Well done.
Where did you live before you moved to Nicaragua, Karen?
I live in London, and I've always lived in London.
So I'm pretty sure that you are missing the weather, no?
Oh my gosh, yes. But you know what? Can you see in the background here, all this wood in the background? Yeah. That's all Nicaraguan wood, all Rainforest Alliance certified Nicaraguan wood.
I think so. It's like when I was watching when we were watching all these images and everything, it's just like a paradise to be there. And also, this kind of amazing sunsets and everything. You can spend time there. So also, it's like we are going to share with our friends, of course, the link, you know, that they can check your website. And of course, as I used to say that, well, after the lockdown, I'm pretty sure that with this show, the only thing that we are doing is confusing people in order to know exactly which is going to be the first place that they want to visit. Because of course, I think so they are putting one at the top and later on they are saying, well, maybe this one and maybe this one. And I think so with Jicaro is something that is going to happen.
I think so, because the beauty about Jicaro, well, there's only 9, we call them casitas. So they're like 2-story little houses. So the top floor where you sleep is in amongst the trees, like a tree house, but everything's very open. So, we don't have windows or anything like that. There's all the cross breezes come through all the casitas. The restaurants open, where the bars open. Everything's very open, which is great because, as everyone knows, that's the safest place to be, is in the open air. There's only 9 casitas, so it's quite small numbers of people, and you can be totally private if you want. And if you want to arrange to just take over the whole island, then obviously you can do that as well. And Cayuga, who manage it, they've had a lot of experience now in Costa Rica. They've begun to open up a lot of the hotels, so they know exactly how to make them COVID safe, and that they've got everything in place already, and we've been speaking about it as well. So as soon as sort of borders open up and we feel it's safe, then we're very confident that we can make it a very safe place for people to be.
Well, Karen, that's amazing. That's a very inspiring. First of all, inspiring work you've done. Second thing is the drive you've got. Third is the sustainability, which now these days is one of the most important things, and most of the people who are traveling are looking for. And the third point, which I love it, is you are helping. Your staff is from Nicaragua. You're helping not just with work. You're just teaching. You're encouraging people just to be not recycle things, recycle water. So that's amazing. I mean, it's really, that's one of the main points for all the audience, British audience, just to go and visit Nicaragua and obviously your place.
Yeah, I think there's someone online at the moment that spent a very special birthday there, and I think everybody that I know that's come, again, like Russell and myself, just completely fall in love. There's something, it's almost indescribable, kind of in the air. I live a kind of crazy life in London. I'm a Londoner, you know, and as soon as you go there, there's some peace that kind of just washes over you, and then just washes all the chaos and the stress away. As I say, it's really hard to describe. You have to go there and see it. And also the country as a whole, you know, not just my hotel, which obviously I'm very fond of, but the country as a whole, it's the same. There's so many different things to see and do, and they're all sort of, you know, very much sort of around nature. And it's just so good for the soul.
Okay, Karen, well, tell us where can the public can find more about your place?
Probably the best place is the website, which is jicarolodge.com. That's Jicaro for us English. So jicarolodge.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well. And Twitter too, but the website will give you an idea. Although I have to say that nothing that I've seen anywhere can actually do Nicaragua as a country justice when you see it on the screen. You know, you really have to just go and sort of feel it for yourself.
Well, Karen, thank you very much. And quickly, just a couple of minutes, I want to go back with Russell, just to tell us where we can find your guides. You're in mute, Russell.
So I've got guides to Cuba, Ecuador, Mexico, and Nicaragua. What I would say to you, thank you very much.
Well, we can find you on
how they can find them.
Yeah, I am LATAMTRAVELIST, so go and find me on social media. And what I would say to you is that I found Nicaragua through volunteering. I went to San Francisco Libre. It was an incredible place. I met people who were part of a twin town experience between Nicaragua and the UK for more than 20 years. And it was incredible for me to go to that place, to meet people who were already involved in a conversation between the UK and Nicaragua. And to go there and meet them and to be invited to live in someone's house is something that you wouldn't find in the UK, but you might find in Nicaragua. And it definitely happened to me. I went to stay in the house of Eli and Mauricio in San Francisco Libre, and they treated me as if I was the ultimate guest. And that, to me, in a nutshell, is a Nicaraguan experience, is the fact that you go to a place where you're expecting to find something new, and travel should be transformational. It should be responsible. It should be sustainable. And in Nicaragua, I found all of those things came together incredibly. And every area of Nicaragua offered me a new adventure, whether it was Somoto Canyon, which is now a GeoPark and is ultimately incredible. You jump through a canyon. You can do kayaking. You can do canyoning. You can do swimming through this incredible canyon, only discovered in 2004 by Czech geologists. Or you can go to Masaya volcano and you look down into a boiling lake of lava. Or you go to the Solentiname Islands and you meet, you know, artisans who are creating, you know, these beautiful little birds and things that they cut out of balsa wood. Or you go to the Flor de Caña factory and you see how some of the best rum in the world is made. Or you go to Esteli and see how some of the best cigars are made in the world. Or you go to the Selva Negra Hacienda in Matagalpa and you can see how not only coffee beans, Bourbon coffee beans are produced in incredible ways to make the best coffee in the world, but they also have cacao, and you can go bird watching. And you go to the Caribbean side of Nicaragua and it's just incredible, these tiny islands that were once Afro-Caribbean under the British, now independent Nicaraguan islands where people are expressing their own culture. So yeah, it's an incredible melting pot. Go volcano boarding. That's my number one recommendation. Go volcano boarding down Cerro Negro all the way down. You might even reach speeds of 60 kilometers an hour. It is exhilarating. It is adventure. Or you can do other things like zip lines on Mombacho volcano coming down to Granada. And you can stay in boutique hotels. Granada is absolutely packed with boutique hotels. It's like a Vogue shoot. And places like the La Merced Hotel are like being in a Vogue shoot. And you look out the window, you've got this incredible sight of the hotel outside. So,
well, yes, Vogue have actually been there.
Yeah, well, Real La Merced is amazing. It's got the church in front. It's the best church to get the sunset. So you can walk up to the bell tower and get the sunset from the hotel. But Nicaragua is colonial. It is indigenous. It is historical because of the Sandinista revolution in León, for example. And there are so many opportunities to volunteer that if you go there, you really must explore them. There's the Nicaragua Solidarity Campaign, which has links. And so where I came from was a twin town with San Francisco Libre, but there are so many other links as well, that where Oxford University, Oxford City is linked with León, because that's a university in Nicaragua. So many places to go and visit. And also you need to learn the language. So they call me El Chele, because Chele is like leche reversed, which means white. Obviously like white. It's better than being called a gringo. So they called you a Chele. Chelito.
Okay. You're stealing one of the things that maybe Whitney is going to tell us about.
No,
so
it is.
No?
It is.
But there's only one way to go, and that is that if you are Twani,
yes, Twani is very cool.
And if you are Diakachimba, you're really cool.
Yep.
Russell, you're spoiling Whitney's section, my dear Russell.
Sorry.
That's like
remember, there's a new book come out called The Birds of Nicaragua. There are 763 birds to see. I went to a coffee hacienda, for an example. I went to a coffee hacienda to see the coffee, and I ended up seeing a quetzal, which is one of the most amazing birds you can see in Central America, which has got these lovely green feathers on the back of it. And the bird watching was better than the coffee, but they had coffee, they had cacao, they had cheese, they had all these amazing artisanal kind of products. And that was the Selva Negra in Matagalpa. So Nicaragua is always a surprise.
And I think so that it's a very good point as well. Tonight, we have the opportunity to listen a different way to talk about Nicaragua. Normally, we're talking with people that they are locals, but now we have a different vision, that people that they moved to Nicaragua or that they are in love with Nicaragua, that you have another origin, that you are not natives from Nicaragua. But of course, you can tell us like the best experience that you can have from that particular country. And I can see that you are in love for that one, my dear Russell.
Okay, Flor de Caña is one of the smoothest rums produced in the Americas. And the Flor de Caña rum experience in Nicaragua is one of the best rum tours I've ever been on. It only costs about $15 to spend several hours going through a rum factory and trying rum that is 30 years old.
So now everybody's showing us and you're teasing us only. So that's not fair. I think so, Russell and Karen, I think so that you are breaking our hearts. So that is not fair.
I hope so. For those $15, this include the alcohol the whole day.
Yeah, it does.
But anyway.
I mean, it does. It includes the alcohol. And you can try and try and try. I was really lucky because when I went on the, I am a lucky person, as you know, Roger. But when I went on the, rum tour, I was with 6 women, and when we got to the tasting section of the rum tour and the Flor de Caña rum tour, they said, "I hope you don't mind. We don't like rum. Could you drink our glasses of 30-year-old rum?"
Yeah. So, well, it's actually, thank you very much to Russell and Karen. Of course, we are sharing the links where that you can find all your books, Russell and Karen. Of course, we are sharing the links of Jicaro because I think it's an amazing place. So it's a pleasure for us having you here and talking as British. Yeah. What do you think about Nicaragua? And thank you very much for being here. And of course, thank you for sharing your own experiences. So thank you very much, both of you.
Yeah.
And well, now we're going to move to the last section. Well, not the last section, but the section that, well, it's like even Russell MADDICKS makes a little bit of the spoilers there, I think so, from Whitney about what is she going to talk about. But well, now we have this Spanish section. Don't leave it, Russell, and don't leave it, Karen, because maybe I think so that, well, now don't worry, Russell, don't put that face, no worries. Fine. So it's like, now we're going to go with our Spanish teacher, Whitney Nuchereno.
Perfect. And if you guys can put your microphones on mute, that would be very, very helpful. Okay. So, all right. Of course, as you know, we've been talking for, oh gosh, an hour and 20 minutes on Nicaragua. So we're going to continue that in tonight's episode of Making Spanish Simple. So some of you may not know or may not have known that Nicaragua is a surfing destination, and it was touched upon in our earlier interviews. And so there, as you can see, there's a lot to look forward to when visiting Nicaragua. I mean, it embraces travelers with diverse offerings of volcanic landscapes, colonial architecture, sensational beaches, which we're going to get into in a minute, remote idyllic islands, and pristine forests. So whether you're looking forward to going there just to sightsee or to surf, it does not disappoint. And so tonight we're going to go over some vocabulary to help you realize your surfing dreams and potential. So we have learned the first word about 1 billion times, and I'm going to move my screen so you can see it's a little bit better. So we're going to learn it 1,000,001 times. La playa is beach, and I've mentioned here just a few of the many beaches that are known for surfing in Nicaragua. The first one is Playa Maderas, which is a 10-minute drive from the town of San Juan del Sur and offers a lot of surfing schools. We have Playa Hermosa, and this literally means beautiful beach, and it certainly is. Up until 2012, it was only accessible by boat, but I believe now it's much easier to reach and thus very busy. Popoyo, Playa Popoyo. This beach is for advanced surfers due to the heavy waves and shallow reefs. And then Playa Colorado is another great destination stop, which now is a hot holiday spot. Well, maybe not now because, you know, COVID, but you know, like pre and post, hopefully COVID. And although, you know, when there's a hot spot, that means it might cost a little bit more money than your typical place, but there's still beach access for everyone. So if you make it over there, please like hit up that beach. Okay, now for some actual Spanish, other than playa, playa, playa. So I was thinking about how to approach this because I know last week we talked about tourism and we had ambassadors on, which is always a great opportunity. And I thought, oh, what can I do differently? I'm like, surfing. So hacer surf or surfear, either one is to surf. Hacer is the verb to do or to make, but we use it in certain expressions. Even some with sports, which this is, it's very physical. You have las olas or las ondas. We saw ondas, if you were with us on our very first episode in Mexico, and I did the like expressions heard on the street, que onda, which means literally what waves, which is another like way of saying que tal. So you might have seen that there, olas or ondas. And to check the status of the waves, you would say, and like I said, que tal is like, how is something? So que tal las olas, que tal las ondas? And you could say, están buenas, están buenísimas. Estar bueno o buena means something totally different. It's if you want to call someone like hot, like good looking, which is also useful though. Yeah. But in this case, it means, it means like the status of the waves, because obviously we have two verbs to be in Spanish, ser and estar. And with all of these, you're going to see the word estar instead of ser, because that's a temporary to be. And obviously conditions such as weather is temporary. So same thing below, when you want to say está algo picado, it's a bit like picado means in this case, choppy. And we see it with food, and we talked about food, like something picado, chopped or minced. So está algo picado is like, it's a little choppy out there. And then hay mucho viento. This is one of the weather terms that we don't necessarily use estar for, but viento is wind. So it's just saying like there's a lot of wind, which obviously impacts your surfing conditions. And then, okay, there's so many terms. I'm just giving you a like kind of like a breather. You have a la derecha. So derecha, and this is really useful just when you're traveling, like a la derecha, like to the right. So una ola or onda derecha is like a right breaking wave. And similar with the left, una ola or una onda izquierda, because a la izquierda is to the left, which is obviously showing as your right. So I'm probably confusing there, but my left. And that's a left breaking wave. And then another critical point is about asking for the tide. So cuando hay marea alta is like when is high tide, because alto means high, or we can use it with tall. And then cuando hay marea baja is when is like bajo is like low, or we use it as well as short, like when is low tide. So cuando obviously means when. And that's another question word you learned today. And then we have la tabla de surf is a surfboard, and you have la tabla corta, which is a shorter and narrower one for greater maneuvers and less speed. I'm not a surfer, so this is all research and talking to surfer friends and whatnot. And then you have el tablón, which is, I don't know how you put años. Oh, that's for the next slide. I apologize. Which is a typical surfboard that gives you more speed while maneuvering the waves. And we also have, oops, sorry about that. Una escuela de surf. So this is a surf school, una escuela school. And this is a quick reminder, when you have articles like el or lo, or in this case, la or las, when we talked about las olas, it means the or nothing at all. So if you were to say la tabla de surf, it's either surfboard, the surfboard, or simply surfboard. However, articles such as un or una means a or an. So una escuela de surf means like a surfing school. And when you go to, cuando vas a una escuela de surf, te van a hacer varias preguntas, a few questions. So one of them might be, there are a lot of ways you could say it. You can use a different tense like the preterite, but I chose this way. ¿Has surfeado or has hecho surf antes? Which means, have you surfed before? So you can either say sí, which is yes, or no, which is no. And then they might ask you like how many times. So if it's been like a handful of times, well, first of all, if it's been one time, it's una vez. A time is vez, like times that you do something. And so if you were to say like more than once, Then the word beneath that at the very bottom over there, veces is the number of times. So anywhere from 2 to 10. So you have like una vez, dos veces, tres veces, you have cuatro, cinco, seis, no hemos hecho número antes, siete, ocho, nueve, y 10. So those are your numbers, which it only took, what, 3 months to go over? Again, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10. So if you were to say that you've surfed for like 2 times, sería dos veces. Si quisiera decir como años, like how many years that you've surfed, then that'd be like 2 o 3 años, if you want to say 2 or 3 years. So those are kind of ways to distinguish between that. And then the next one, we're just going to do a few more terms for surfing. Again, there's so many things you can talk about. So I just kind of did it by a few keywords and your levels, because that's really important. You don't want to be set up to fail. So el nivel, they might ask like, ¿cuál es tu nivel? And that's your level. And you could say principiante, which is beginner. Remember that CI makes an S sound, principiante, intermedio for intermediate, y avanzado for advanced. And then, of course, in order to surf, you need a wetsuit. So they're going to ask, ¿cuál es tu talla? So what is your like size? And it could be pequeño, small, mediano, medium, grande, large. And un traje is typically a suit. So un traje de baño would be a bathing suit. And in this case, un traje de surf would be like a wetsuit. And I added this last word in here, la tribu de surf, because I've seen this a couple times when I was like going on like these surfing sites. And so tribu generally means tribe. And this word is also kind of used in tribu urbana, which is like a style of clothes that people choose to best represent their identity, like hipsters and surf. So in this case, it's both, because as you know, surfing is not just a sport, but a state of mind. And now finally, your favorite part, which like half of it we know already, but that's okay. I spoil a lot of episodes, so that's just my karma coming back to me. But we have adios. So as you've learned, adios generally means goodbye, but in Nicaragua, it could be used like as a greeting and like to a passerby, like on the street. A todo mamón means super fast. And the next one, a todo mamón, and you can hear when someone is talking about, for example, like someone's driving. Si una persona dijera, el chofer manejaba a todo mamón, esto significa, like sería, the chauffeur was driving super fast. Chele, as we've established, is like leche backwards, and leche is milk, and its milk is white. So it refers to someone like as a white or fair-skinned person. Definitely a more suave way of potentially saying gringo. And then dale pues, we talked about dale. I don't even know how many episodes ago we've done so many, but it could be used instead of vale or sale to say okay. And dale pues, it literally means like give it then, but in this case it can mean okay instead of just dale pues. And then that chimba is someone who's super cool, as we saw. And then we also have tuani, which is another adjective to describe something cool. I'm obsessed with the word cool, apparently. And so are all these different communities because they have their own word for it. Bacán, bacano, tuani, chévere, guay. And then also salvaje, which normally means wild, but can also mean cool or awesome. And then cuecho is chisme or gossip. And then the last one, no hay falla or falla. While this typically means there's no failure, that's like the literal translation. It's a hip way of saying everything's cool, like todo está bien, no pasa nada, no te preocupes, like don't worry about it. And so that is my accelerated version of tonight's segment of Making Spanish Simple. For more information, including backlogs of our past episodes, culture, I'm starting to add videos on how to like, for different levels and A students, how to take certain standardized tests in Spanish. Everything you can need is on this website, which is linked to these 3 networks, so my social networks. And that's it.
Dun, dun, dun. Thank you very much, my dear Whitney. Actually, it was very interesting.
I learned
20, no?
I learned something. Hey, Chele, vamos a todo mamón.
Yeah, the only difference is that, well, you know that in Mexican Spanish it could be a different concept.
I know.
Kind of
Some
word. Yeah,
people
I know. Just be careful. And I think so.
But-
We have to, you know what, Whitney? Maybe we have to make like a matrix, like saying you cannot say this in these countries, you can say this in these countries.
Yeah.
That could take a whole episode, but I agree. Yeah, some of these words, I pick them and I'm thinking, oop, that's a risk. That's a risk. That's a risk. But again, we're talking in the context of Nicaragua. And I think that's super important that you go from one country and you say something that's like really typical in one, and it's something totally absurdly inappropriate in another. So yeah, just be ready for that.
No, that's correct. And thank you very much, Whitney. And well, just the audience know, well, you can see that, well, now we have extended and well, now we are doing this show for 1 hour and a half. And thank you because, well, it's because of you actually, because, well, we have received a lot of demand and everything. And a lot of people, they really like it. And believe us that, well, we're doing this show with all our love and because we really want to share the best experience of Latin America. And I would like to say, actually, thank you for all the people that they are following us. Thank you for all the people that they are showing our video. Thank you very much for all our your commentaries. Michael Urbi, he's saying amazing show. Thank you all. Can't wait to get back. Well, Michael and everybody who's watching us, remember that this show is every Tuesday at 8 o'clock London time. So while you can watch us, follow us, please give us a like or follow us in the Latin America show here on Facebook. Or also you can subscribe to the different channels that we have. It could be YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. In YouTube, you can put the bell in order that, well, you know, every time that we're uploading any new video. Thank you very much. Well, I have seen that, well, people, they have enjoyed Jicaro. They have put their experiences, and I know that they have shared different kind of celebrations like birthdays, etc. Hannah Cap also, well, she was saying that, well, stop teasing us with that 30 years old rum. And I think so that, well, in that way, also Karen and Russell, they were living with us, that they were just showing off the amazing rum that they have. Monique Lawrence, she's saying, great that you have mentioned the volunteer, the part that Russell, he was mentioning. Also, Linda Adamson, she's checking that, well, she's saying, just checking the website, Karen Jicaro Island Lodge. Looks amazing. Actually, yes, it is amazing. So, well, we highly recommend to check the website and also put it in your list and go to this fantastic island. Daniela Harris is the one that she passed her birthday there in the lodge. So, well, it's like, don't miss it. So thank you very much to all your commentaries. Well, I would like to say thank you very much to Karen. I think so Karen is here, or is not here. Yeah, I think so Karen is here.
Yeah, still here.
Yes, thank you very much, Karen, for being with us tonight. And hopefully, well, next time we will meet you there in Jicaro Lodge.
I hope so. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Well, have a good afternoon there, and well, enjoy that fantastic place that you have.
Thank you.
Well, also, I would like to thank you. I think so Russell is not here. Well, I can see that the cam is there, but Russell is not there. But well, thank you very much, Russell MADDICKS, for sharing all these fantastic experiences. And also don't miss his books also. If you are planning to traveling to these different countries, that he has like 5 different guides. So, well, don't miss it, because I think so it could be like a good experience from people that they are not necessarily from Latin America, but they are like just recommending you places that maybe you shouldn't miss. Like, for example, the books that I was talking, it was Cuba, Ecuador, Mexico, Venezuela, Nicaragua. So, well, you can find also in the commentaries all the information from Russell. And I would like to say thank you very much to mis amigos who I have the honor to share this show. So, Whitney Nochereno.
Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us, for staying through my segment. I'm going to go spoil something. We're doing
again.
Okay, maybe not.
No, come on, say it. I don't know what you're going to spoil.
It was spoiled on me, so I'm passing it on. Mexico next week. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm working on it now, and I'm really excited to share some more slang from Mexico, especially because during the gala, we didn't get to that. We did something very different. So more Mexican slang, lots of things that you can say there that probably can offend people elsewhere. And yay, you're going to learn more next week.
Well done. Well done. And thank you very much for spoiling again my segment where I'm saying which country is the next one. But yes, of course, we're going to talk about Mexico. We're going to talk about a little bit of business, but also we're going to discover the Riviera Nayarit, that it's a fantastic place in the Pacifico, or well, in the Pacific Ocean, that well, you will really enjoy. Amazing places, Virgin Island, Virgin beaches and everything that, well, it's really, really nice. So don't miss it. And well, I can see that Russell is there. Russell, you're on mute, but well, thank you very much for being here. You're on mute, yeah.
There. Oh yeah, I'm still on mute.
Nope, you're good.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, we can listen to you. So thank you very much, Russell. So have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully everybody goes to Nicaragua because it's a fantastic country.
Thank you very much, my dear Russell. Of course, we will keep in mind, and also, well, we will check your books. That while we are sharing all the information to all our audience, that well, if they are planning to visit different countries, they can just take a look in Travel List. And my dear Roger Alarcon.
Well, it's been an amazing night, 4 fantastic guests, and very inspirational. Just we talk about sustainability. We hear about the fantastic Nicaragua from the ambassador. Thank you very much, and see you next week.
Thank you very much, my dear Roger. So, well, as I said before, don't miss it, and follow us in all our social networks. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's very easy to find us. It's the Latin America Show. The Latin America Show is every Tuesday, 8 o'clock, London time. So my name is Enrique Gelista. Thank you very much, and see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.